Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. Whoever would have thought? Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Welcome to our show, everybody. This is Sports Talk for You. My name is Aaron Bell. Got our hosts Adam Parker, Armand Ely, and Chase Gibson with us. And everybody knows what the topic is today. We all know what happened yesterday at about 3:30 p.m. And, well, I guess we can now call Tampa Bay Super Bowl champions, right?
No.
No.
Close.
Oh.
Yeah, that still goes through Arrowhead in my book. So
Definitely, being right here in Kansas City, we got something to say. Andy Reid says, no.
Well,
I
believe it or
think
not, they got to play the Chiefs this year, so although it'll be down in Tampa, but who knows? Tom Brady's he he wanted to move out of New England to get away from Mahomes, and here he is playing Mahomes again.
I still think the Chiefs will win that one.
Oh, well, yeah. I don't think the Buccaneers have a very talented defense right now.
Well, no. And you look, let's talk real quick. You said you added Tom Brady, Gronkowski. They've got a good offense. You look, they got Godwin, they got Evans. The weapons are there. Do they have the best line? Is he going to have Belichick? So I don't know. I think I kind of cut out there, but the defense is going to be the interesting point. I don't know if they have that type of defense to compete with a lot of these teams. Are they going to be able to put up enough points on Kansas City? I don't think so. I don't think they have that good of offense to have that many points against our defense.
Well, and you got the Saints offense too. The Saints offense can easily put up 30 with Drew Brees and Michael Thomas and Kamara, and it's just going to be a matter if that offense can put up 20 points a game for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kind of defense or how that plays out for the Bucs, but I'm kind of excited for their offense. They have quite the weapons, and last time I believe the last time Brady was truly successful was with that two tight end look with Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski. Not to say that his other Super Bowl teams weren't great and didn't have two tight ends or anything, but I just feel that Tampa could light it up. And the reason why I say that is because if Mr. 30 for 30 can throw for 5,000 plus yards and throw 30 touchdowns, as long as Tom Brady doesn't turn the ball over 30 times, then I think Tampa could be in good shape. I believe that they will probably get the wild card, but, you never know until you play the game. So maybe they could upset the Saints and take the division.
Well,
Two seasons ago, when Fitzpatrick was the quarterback for the short time, Tampa Bay was averaging close to 40 points a game. And that was with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah. Hey, Fitzpatrick owns the Raiders, man. Come on now.
Hey, we all know he's definitely helped the Chiefs.
Sorry.
He's helped the Chiefs the last 2 years. Thank you.
Yeah. He is a hero in Kansas City. Let's just say that.
Fitzpatrick. Hey, you should sign him as a backup.
Now, here's the thing. With New England trading away Gronkowski and also trading away that 7th-round pick for that 4th-round pick, are they going to go after a quarterback in the first round?
Who's this?
The Patriots?
Yes.
Will they trade up? Will they trade up?
Yes, they will. They will trade up. I think they're going to trade up into the probably 10 to 12 range. I think there's no way they get Burrow. Burrow's gone.
Now they got that extra 4th-round pick, so maybe they'll trade a player with that 4th-round pick to trade up for the quarterback.
Yeah, I still think they're going to make a trade up in that 10 to 12 range. Let's see. I think Burrow's going to be gone. He's going to Cincinnati.
I think their best bet is Herbert.
Yeah, that's
Herbert's
what
now projected top 10 pick with the Chargers.
Yeah, it's not really.
If they want the quarterback, they're going to have to trade him to part of the top 10 or top 5 pick.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback. They do have a quarterback on their roster who they're very high on, who backed up Brady last year.
Well, they said they were wanting. I guess a lot of articles are saying they were wanting to go after Jordan Love, but I don't see him being successful in the NFL at all.
Jordan Love had a pretty good junior season. Well, he had a lot of weapons, and the thing about his senior season was so great because he lost everyone. Everyone's kind of high on Jordan Love, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Or they could just wait and pick up Jake from State Farm. I think that guy will be decent. I think he'll have a decent NFL career. I know his numbers didn't reflect that this year at Georgia, but Georgia does a balanced offense, a lot of run mixed in with some pass. And Kirby Smart was not – I don't look at him as an offensive guru, and it kind of showed this year, unlike the past years, where if you have those weapons, it can kind of put a Band-Aid on the whole thing. But since they lost a lot the previous year, I believe that it kind of exposed that whole offensive scheme to not really be that great. And even this year, I believe he admitted that he needed to change up his offense for Georgia. So yeah. I think Fromm's got the arm strength. I think he's got some accuracy. And it'll be interesting to see what quarterbacks go where. I believe this draft has some decent quarterbacks, definitely the best wide receiving core. And if a team were to pick a wide receiver in the 7th round, I'd still give that grade a B+. So it'll be interesting to see what the draft holds.
Yeah, Adam, you bring up a good point of quarterbacks and where they're going. The Bengals, I have taken obviously Joe Burrow. And then I look down at number 5 with the Dolphins. That's the pick I think they're going to take Tua. And I think if you're New England –
but see, there's been a lot of flack coming out saying the Dolphins are going to trade up.
Nah,
3 picks.
No, they're not trading up. Who they're going to trade up with?
That's what I'm thinking too, but I've seen like 3 or 4 articles today saying they're going to trade up in that top 3.
They also have Kansas City trading up to go get Ruggs, which I don't think is going to happen.
I would laugh so hard.
He'll be there at number 5.
Hey, Armand, I would laugh so hard if the Redskins gave up the number 2 pick to the Dolphins.
That won't happen. 5. That's not going to happen. They'll be the dumbest organization in the world if that happens.
Redskins aren't going to give up Chase Young or the Ohio State cornerback. They're not going to give up either of those 2 guys.
It's quite obvious they're going to take Chase Young at number 2.
Well, they said they could take the cornerback too for Ohio State.
The what?
That cornerback for Ohio State. They said the Redskins could take him too.
No, it's been Chase Young. Either Chase Young or possibly Tua, which won't happen. It's Chase Young. It's been Chase Young since the draft 40 came out. It's been Chase Young since December. It'll be Chase Young.
It better be Chase Young because that guy is a defensive end that will transform a defense in my book.
I agree.
If they were to trade the number 2 pick and end up not getting him, then I would feel so bad for every Redskin fan out there.
Well,
yeah, no joke.
And I think the Patriots are going to trade up to the number 9 spot with the Jaguars, and that's when they're going to get their quarterback. Look for them to go and pick
up. Who would that quarterback be?
Justin Herbert.
If Justin Herbert's still there at number 9.
Yeah. Now here's the real question: is anybody going to trade up or give away their pick for Leonard Fournette?
Not first round.
Not really, because that guy's so injury prone. You know, I would not give up a first round pick for him. It's pushing with the 2nd round pick.
Well, he has a bad attitude. Bad attitudes aren't going to fit well. I mean, just saying.
That's true.
I think if you see Fournette, I think he goes maybe a 3rd or a 4th round just because he has 1 year left on his contract. He's still a stud. You know, he's a powerful runner. He didn't get a lot of touchdowns, but I think that's just because people were zoning in on him at the goal line.
Now, do you think second round, do the Redskins go after a running back? Because I know Geis has
No.
been injury prone since he's been there, and Adrian
No,
Peterson is starting to.
I think they'll go defense. Their running back situation already. They got Bryce Love, who's coming off the ACL, who they drafted. They still believe in Geis. They obviously still believe in Adrian Peterson. He's a freak of nature.
Well, here's another question for you. Sorry to switch teams real quick since we're on the running back thing. Do you think the Buccaneers will go after a running back with the first pick?
Not the first, but I believe with the second.
And who do you think they'll go after?
Whoever's left. I think you'll see Taylor go probably first or second. Swift's going to go. And then I think they might go get
If Jonathan Taylor does not go first, I will be surprised. And that whoever gets him in the second round will be the biggest steal of this draft. Because that kid lit it up at Wisconsin. I mean, he averaged almost 110 yards a game.
Yeah, 2,000 yards.
Yeah. So that'll be a big steal if somebody gets him in the second round. I'm just saying. And who knows? Maybe the Chiefs, if he's available, will the Chiefs take him? I mean, that'll be a big steal.
Who do you guys want? Do you want Taylor or do you want Swift?
I want Swift.
Let's see. I'm watching Jonathan Taylor. The dude's a powerhouse. To me, he's another Kareem Hunt.
Charles Davis in this mock draft has Swift.
Yeah. But either of those guys can be franchise running backs. Yeah.
Hey, Armand, I got a question for you, bud.
All right.
My question is, I think that Tampa Bay is going to make a trade with Washington and send you guys O.J. Howard, a big, strong tight end that you guys desperately need.
Got to trust Vernon Davis, man.
Vernon Davis is retired.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's good. And, of course, Jordan Reed's not being back is too injury prone. There's been talk about that with making the trade with Trent Williams. O.J. Howard's been in that conversation. One thing the Redskins do need to get rid of, they do need to get rid of Trent Williams because Trent Williams is not coming back to his old nation whatsoever. Having a tight end like O.J. Howard right now with Dwayne Haskins and the younger receivers, that'd be outstanding because right now we don't have a reliable tight end right now. Jordan Reed's injury prone. He's done. Vernon Davis, he's retired. And we have Jeremy, who was highly talented out of Arkansas, but he hasn't really shown much lately.
Now, here's my thing. With Tom Brady not having James White, who was who was pretty much his check down guy, because we all know about him. Because I think Peyton Barber and I forgot who their other running back is in Tampa, but just two guys that aren't going to be the right fit for Brady. Do you think Brady will succeed without top running backs like he's had in the past?
I think he will have a top running back after day one. I think they're definitely going to draft one.
Because Peyton Barber averaged 3 yards a carry last year.
They're going to have to draft one to compliment him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see them drafting a running back, but if they choose not to, then I think Barber's the one that will see the most production. I liked him over the other guy, which left my mind too. I can't think of that guy's name to save my life. But, Brady's been doing good with mediocre backs anyway. I mean, Rex Burkhead, James White. I mean, I feel like he created James White to an extent, Yeah. And so I think
Sony Michel.
Yeah. And so honestly, I don't think he'll have that big of a problem. I think whatever card he's dealt with, I think he'll make the most of it, just like he's done in years past.
Now, who will lead the Buccaneers in receiving yards? Evans or Godwin?
Evans.
Godwin.
I'm going to split the difference and say Godwin, just because I think he stays healthy and I think Evans might get hurt again.
Plus, Godwin does a lot more slants. goes across the middle more, I believe, than Evans does. Evans, to me, is more of a go deep and then come back type of a receiver.
That is
So it'll be
true.
interesting.
But then again, you got Gronk too. I mean, he could come close to leading that team in receiving yards too. Thing is, he's just got to stay. He's got to stay injury free. That's his problem.
Here's my sleeper pick for you guys for fantasy purposes. It's a kid named Scotty Miller. He's a first-year player out of Tampa Bay, and he fits that Julian Edelman role for Tampa Bay. So look for Scotty Miller as a kind of a sleeper.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. And this will bring up a good question since you mentioned Edelman. Do you think he's going to ask for a trade out of New England?
New England won't do it. That's the only threat they have right now, wide receiver-wise. They're not going to give him up.
I don't see why would they give him up.
Yeah.
They're not going to give him up.
No, but they got Mohamed Sanu. Come on now.
Oh,
Can't go wrong with that guy.
Muhammad. No, you can't. The guy is I believe he's a consistent catcher, receiver. At least the bar was set so low last year amongst New England receivers minus Edelman that, he seemed more productive than the other guys. I thought N'Keal Harry was an absolute bust, but maybe he'll rebound. Golly, who is that other guy? New England's other guy, Dorsett.
Oh, Dorsett.
Is
Yeah.
it Dorsett? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he showed promise until his injury. It's just, it's kind of a
I think
crapshoot
they got
right
Josh
now
Gordon
for
back
New
too,
England.
if I believe.
Yeah,
They-
for how long, though?
Yeah, that's true. How long till he gets
For how
suspended?
long? You can't. If Josh Gordon's your main threat in New England, you got issues. You don't
Yeah.
know how long you're going to be in the league.
Yeah.
Dude's got so many dang second chances, third chances, and you can't stay off the prime.
Now the real question is, will Tampa Bay make the playoffs this first year with Brady?
Yes.
Wild card or win division?
Wild card. I don't think they get past New Orleans.
It'll be a wild card unless Drew Brees breaks down. But it'll probably be a wild card, maybe no more than 10-6, maybe 9-7.
Because for
Yeah, I
sure
think
Carolina's
wild
not
card.
going to do anything in that division. Carolina won't even win 4 games, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Atlanta, who knows? Atlanta's a team that you just don't know what they're going to do year in and year out.
Knowing Atlanta, they can come up and win the division next year.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, who knows? Tampa Bay could miss the playoffs because Saints. Well, they did add that extra wild card spot in there. So who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm looking
Because
forward to that.
the NFC East is so terrible, they're most likely going to get 1 team in, and who knows? That NFC South could get 3 teams in, 2 wild card spots.
Exactly. Well,
And don't
the
forget about the
wild
NFC
card
North,
is-
though.
they
NFC
could
North
get
is
2 in.
deadly.
Hey, the NFC East could get 2 in with the extra wild card, but who knows? Division where maybe 7-9 or 9-7.
But we can't
That
forget about that
division
NFC
got it
North,
for-
man.
The NFC North is strong.
If
I like the
Chicago,
NFC
if
North.
Chicago can just get that quarterback they've wanted, they can make a run. They've had the defense the last 3 years to do it. They
Absolutely.
don't have that dang quarterback. Trubisky just was not the man.
yeah. That's
You know,
where I
Nick
think
Foles-
Foles could help them.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I just don't see it happening with Nick Foles.
Now, here's one
Outside
thing.
of-
Even though the Bears went after Nick Foles, do you see a surprising trade coming with Chicago to trade up for a quarterback?
No.
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 Who they going to trade up for?
That is true.
Well, what quarterback's going to be out there? This is not a quarterback-rich draft. Whether they Burrow and Tua and Justin Herbert. The love guy from Nevada. He's question mark, and
Which really,
honestly,
Tua's not 100% though, and that's the thing. He can get injured his rookie season.
well,
He's
he
not
did.
fully
He
healthy.
did say he was 100%, and some doctors did say he was 100%.
Yeah.
I tell you what, the team that's going to be missing out on dumping a quarterback is the Cowboys. Because I could see, honestly, Dak to Miami
Just stop.
makes
Cowboys
sense.
are not going
No,
after a quarterback.
I'm not gonna
Terry
stop.
Jones is not going after a quarterback.
Dak Prescott is going to be your quarterback or Cooper Rush.
He just they even came out.
He
He has
still
a
hasn't
franchise.
signed yet, man.
He's on a
You're
He still
franchise
hasn't
tag for
signed.
$30 million.
3 contracts, still won't sign. But hey, it's not about the money. Don't worry about it. It's not about the money.
As
You
long as he
got
has
Cooper
Amari
Rush.
Cooper to throw it 5 yards, he's fine.
That's a long ball to Dak. You mean 2 yards?
Adam Parker, the biggest Dak Prescott hater in the Cowboys nation.
I'm not hating. I'm just tell you what. I try to like the guy, but the guy digs himself a hole every time.
Now, here's a question for you: if he were to take Dallas to a Super Bowl and win, would you have respect for him?
Sure.
Or would you give it to the receiving corps to win the Super Bowl?
Well, he needs talent around him. I mean, it's funny because who created Dez Bryant? Did Dez Bryant create himself, or did Tony Romo? Did Terrence Williams? Did Terrence Williams create Terrence Williams, or did Tony Romo?
Tony Romo.
All right. So then Tony leaves, and you bring in Dak. You had Beasley, did okay with him, and then all of a sudden that following year, after doing okay with him, disappeared. Okay. And then you have Amari Cooper. Did Dak create Amari Cooper, or did Amari Cooper create Dak Prescott? Because I remember reading an article where Cooper was telling Dak what routes he should call, and here's how he's going to attack the opposing corner. So in my book, it's Amari creating Dak. And then we all know when Ezekiel Elliott doesn't get 85 yards in a game, he can't win a game. If he gets over, they're like undefeated.
So that brings up another question then. A lot of people are saying Bill Belichick is what made Tom Brady Tom Brady. So do you think Tom Brady's going to decline now that he's not with Bill Belichick?
Well, I mean, this season will be a good indicator of who needed who in my book.
Because you won't have no deflated balls in Tampa.
Right, exactly. And plus, the one thing that's always undefeated is Father Time. Father Time does catch up.
Yeah. No more kissing 5-year-olds on the mouth.
But you know something too. He's going to a situation where he's got wide receivers that can catch the ball for him. I don't know how many times I watched a New England game last year, and he would hit them right in the numbers, and they would still drop it.
Well, according to Max Kellerman, that's because they don't have a good relationship, so they drop it on purpose.
Oh, he's pulling out the Carson Wentz card there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had Tom Brady just tried to come in, and I just said no, none of that. I wasn't good with that. But one thing that I wanted to
yeah.
One thing that I wanted to talk about was Tony Gonzalez yesterday coming out and making a comeback. And I know it was funny and all joke and games, but I thought that was pretty neat. But
Do you think
about
that he could outperform Gronkowski at 44 years old?
I still think he has more moves. Yeah. Because Gronkowski's knees and legs, I don't know if they're going to hold up. He said he's 100% healthy, but Tony Gonzalez came out and said that he had a chance to play with the Patriots the year that he retired from Atlanta. He said Tom Brady had brought him in, ran him through a practice. He said, hey, Tony, let's come over here. Let's play some catch real quick. So he invited him to come out. Tom Brady, it was a tryout for him, for Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez just thought they were playing catch, didn't know what was going on. When he shows up, Tony Gonzalez shows up. He's the only one there with Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's like, hey, I need you to run these routes. Tony Gonzalez is like, okay, but where's everybody else at? And he's like, this is a tryout. I want you to come back. And he's like, okay. So Tom's entourage comes out and tells Tony, he's like, all right, let's see what you got. So Tony gets out there, shows everything he's got, and Tom wants to sign him up. Well, Tony said he's about 40% sure that he wanted to come back and play, but he couldn't bite the retirement. So it's going to be interesting to see what Gronkowski does out of his retirement, because I know he's dropped a lot of weight, and I don't know if he's in professional football shape right now as well.
Well, we know he's a professional wrestler.
Hey, speaking of uniforms, how do you like the Chargers uniforms? I think
Those Chargers uniforms are darn good. I'm gotta say.
They're sweet looking. I don't know if you can see this right here, but those are pretty dang nice uniforms. I was very impressed.
Yeah.
And you have the rush of teams getting new uniforms. Cleveland Browns, Tampa Bay, retro from the early 2000s. Atlanta's got new uniforms. Who else? What's up with the new uniforms? The only one that looks good are the Chargers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Chargers have a record of anytime they change their uniform, it looks outstanding. I mean, I can't say that for all the other teams, but who do you think has the most hideous uniform?
New York Jets. I don't know. Those Green Bay 1920s or Pittsburgh Steelers 1930s Bumblebee jerseys.
Yeah.
I
The
just want
Bumblebee
to
jersey,
I want
I
to take a
think, is the
fly
worst.
swatter and just smack them with it.
Yeah, the retro Steeler uniforms are terrible. They're terrible.
Yeah. All right, boys. Well, that was a good show topic today. Tom Brady, Gronkowski. Of course, that's always going to be a great topic to talk about with those two guys, those two lovebirds. But we want to end here with the question for our fans. Comment yes or no underneath. Do you think Tampa Bay Buccaneers will make the playoffs this year? So if you are watching, please comment underneath, and we will get your replies back. Once again, it was a great show. Thanks to Adam, Armand, and Chase for joining today. And we will
Thank
see
you.
you guys next time.
Make sure